What would you do if your wife said she was in a meeting, but the entire internet said she was with another man? Because that's exactly what happened to me. And this one picture destroyed everything.
She texted me at 4 p.m. saying she'd be home late because of an urgent meeting. I didn't think much of it at first. That is, until my coworker sent me a photo he found online. It was my wife at a rooftop bar, leaning into some guy like they were sharing secrets. The caption under the photo said, "When the universe brings you the right person at the wrong time." My stomach dropped the moment I recognized her dress. It was the one I bought her for our anniversary. I tried calling her, but she ignored the call. Then I tried again and again until she finally sent a text. "Stop blowing up my phone, I'm busy." I asked her who the man was, and she replied with, "A friend from work, relax." But the picture didn't look like relaxing behavior. It looked intimate. I waited at home, pacing the hallway like a man preparing for impact. Every minute felt like an hour. She walked in at 10:30, smelling like expensive cologne that wasn't mine. I asked her again who the guy was, and she rolled her eyes like I was a child throwing a tantrum. "You're so insecure," she said, tossing her purse on the couch. I took a deep breath and asked her straight up, "Are you cheating on me?" She laughed. She actually laughed, like it was the funniest thing she'd heard all week. "If I wanted someone else, I'd tell you," she said, which wasn't comforting at all. She grabbed a bottle of wine and poured herself a massive glass. Then she sat across from me, scrolling through her phone like I wasn't even in the room. I told her the photo was all over the internet. She froze mid-swipe, her eyes narrowed, calculating something. "That's ridiculous," she said. "People post fake stuff all the time." But her voice cracked, betraying her confidence. I pointed out that her wedding ring wasn't on in the picture. She looked down at her hand like she'd forgotten it existed. "It didn't match my outfit," she said, which was the worst excuse I'd ever heard. "Okay," I said. "Then unlock your phone so we can clear this all up." She clutched it to her chest like it was a newborn baby. "You don't own me," she snapped, standing up so fast the wine sloshed over the rim. I told her I wasn't trying to control her. I just wanted the truth. She said the truth was that she was tired of living with a husband who needed constant reassurance. I reminded her that she used to reassure me effortlessly all the time. She said that was before she grew as a person. I asked her if growing meant finding someone new. She walked away without answering. I followed her to the bedroom, but she locked the door in my face. I ended up sleeping on the couch, just staring at the ceiling until sunrise. In the morning, she came out dressed like she was going to a photo shoot. She said she needed space and would be staying at her sister's for a few days. I asked if space meant being with the man from the rooftop. She said if I kept talking like that, she'd consider divorce. She left before I could even respond. The house felt so quiet after the door slammed, it was deafening. At noon, her sister called asking if everything was okay. I told her I thought my wife was with her. Her sister said she wasn't, and that's when everything clicked. The lies were unraveling right in front of me. I grabbed my keys and drove to her workplace. Her car wasn't there. On a hunch, I checked the rooftop bar from the photo, and sure enough, her car was parked 2 blocks away. I waited in my truck, watching the entrance like a detective in a crime show. 10 minutes later, she walked out with the same man, laughing like she'd never laughed with me. She touched his arm the way she used to touch mine. And then she kissed him. It wasn't a friendly kiss. It was the kind of kiss that ends marriages. I felt something inside me collapse, but I stayed quiet. I pulled out my phone and snapped a photo, not out of revenge, but for clarity. She needed to see the proof of her own actions. I drove home and packed a single bag. When she finally came home that night, she looked startled to see me standing by the door. I handed her my phone with the picture I took. Without saying a word, her face went white. She opened her mouth, probably to claim it wasn't what it looked like, but I didn't give her a chance. I told her I deserved someone who didn't hide behind rooftop bars and half-truths. She started crying, saying she didn't mean for things to go this far. I told her intentions didn't matter when actions said everything. She'd begged me to stay, but I walked past her. She reached for my wrist, but I gently pulled away. "You grew as a person," I said. "Now I'm growing too." She kept pleading as I stepped outside. The cool night air felt like freedom. As I closed the door behind me, I realized something important. Sometimes the truth hurts, but staying in a lie hurts more. I drove away without looking back. And for the first time in a long time, I felt alive. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever been through something similar, remember your own strength. Make sure to subscribe for more stories like this.